Chilly air back in the Bluegrass State. We'll talk about some showers getting ready to join the mix. And oh yeah, that Kentucky Derby weekend forecast too.
Former President Bill Clinton speaks at the University of Kentucky as the Clinton campaign tries to generate excitement across the state.
A Central Kentucky's family's home goes up in flames. Find out why crews had trouble fighting the fire.
This is WKYT News at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Jennifer Palumbo. We're not done with the rain just yet, and we're about to get a blast of cold air. Here's a live look at downtown Lexington, where it's cloudy and in the 60s right now. But we could see lows in the 30s. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has a first look at the forecast. Lots of changes, Chris.
Yeah, barely to 60 degrees right now. A lot of the day has been into the upper 50s across central and eastern Kentucky. But as Jennifer mentioned, it's kind of ugly out there. 59 Mount Sterling, 60 into Lexington. As warm as we can get across parts of the Bluegrass region, 61, 62 degrees out there. We are also looking at the possibility of some flooding across parts of southeastern Kentucky. Along the Kentucky River, we still have that flood warning that is in effect in that particular area. Defender Radar Network dealing with not a whole lot across central and eastern Kentucky. We are seeing, though, a couple of scattered showers in the northern parts of the area. That future radar that will take us through the evening is picking up on some lighter rains on and off over the next several hours. Overall, though, we're going to watch a cold front that is diving its way on into town from the northwest. That front that is across the Great Lakes now by tomorrow is right on top of central and eastern Kentucky, and that will likely bring more in the way of showers, thunderstorms, and as Jennifer mentioned, a bigger blast of chill. I'll come back in a few minutes with a new hour-by-hour forecast, Jennifer, and we're also looking toward Kentucky Oaks and Derby days and a few changes into that forecast just ahead.
We'll see you in 15 minutes, Chris. Kentucky continues to be at the center of the Democrats' race for the White House. One day after Hillary Clinton was in Ashland, her husband is in the Bluegrass State today. Former President Bill Clinton began his visit this morning at Morehead State University. There he toured a lab where MSU students build microchips for satellites. Then he had a rally outside the Morehead Space Science Center. From there, he came to Lexington for a rally at the William T. Young Library. WKYT's Sean Moody is on the UK campus with our top story at 4.
Former President Bill Clinton hit on several topics out here, from student loan debt to national security, as he and his wife Hillary Clinton crisscrossed the state trying to generate excitement before the May 17th primary.
This was Clinton's second event of the day as he campaigns for his wife across Kentucky. He spoke for about 30 minutes in front of the William T. Young Library, UK, and he talked about a lot of the things that have come up during the campaign. Of course, being on a college campus, he also talked about student loan debt. Clinton said students should be able to do public service work after graduation to pay off a good chunk of student loans, and he also said students should be able to refinance student loans.
Pay it out over 20 years at a fixed income, never more, no matter how much you borrowed, than 10% of your after-tax income. Now think what this means. This would mean everybody could move out of their parents' house.
From here, Clinton headed on to Louisville for his final campaign event of the day. In Lexington, Sean Moody, WKYT.
This campaign event had a friendlier crowd than other events in eastern Kentucky and West Virginia. There were no protests, and right now Bill Clinton is speaking in Louisville. Hillary Clinton's challenger, Senator Bernie Sanders, is also in Kentucky today. His first stop is Louisville. The doors just opened a few minutes ago at Waterfront Park, where Sanders will have a rally in a few hours. WKYT's Garrett Weimer joins us from there live on WKYT News at 5. And then tomorrow, Bernie Sanders will come to Lexington for a rally at Heritage Hall in the Lexington Center. The event is free and open to the public. Doors open at 4 tomorrow afternoon. Meanwhile, Republicans are focused on Indiana and today's primary election. If Donald Trump does well, it could pave the way for him to clinch the GOP nomination. Trump expects to win a majority of the 57 delegates at stake. Polls show he has a 15-point lead over Senator Ted Cruz. Hillary Clinton is locked in a tight race with Bernie Sanders in Indiana, but once you factor in superdelegates, she is 90% of the way to clinching her party's nomination. Fire destroyed a home today near the Scott-Fayette County line. Firefighters were called to Browns Mill Road about 10:30 this morning. As Michelle Chamberlain reports, the nearest water supply is a mile away, so they had to shuttle water back and forth to fight the flames.
The homeowners watched in the front lawn, emotional as their home was being destroyed by fire. The two-story home was collapsing as Scott County firefighters worked to put out the flames. Firefighters tell me much of the home was consumed by fire when they arrived. The nearest water supply was a mile away, so they had to shuttle water back and forth to even try to contain this fire. Scott County Fire tells me a couple and their children lived at the home, but thankfully no one was in the home at the time of the fire. Unfortunately, the family dog did die in this fire. Neighbors just watched as the home burned to the ground.
It's been a pretty hot fire, a pretty big house. I'd say the house probably 4,000 or 5,000 square feet.
Fire officials are still investigating the cause of this fire and say arson investigators will arrive tomorrow. In Scott County, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
The fire also destroyed a 2012 Ferrari sports car that was parked in the garage. The University of Kentucky has fired an employee after an audit showed more than $240,000 in inappropriate purchases. Steve Ellis is accused of purchasing lab equipment, then reselling it on eBay. UK police seized nearly 80 items, including desktop computers and projectors. We'll have the latest on this investigation on WKYT News at 5. Our reporters are working on a number of other stories for WKYT starting at 4:30. Sam Dick joins us from the newsroom with a look at some more of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Sam.
Good afternoon, Jennifer. A man who admitted to his role in a Madison County double murder learned his punishment. Daniel Keene pled guilty to 6 counts, including murder and kidnapping in the 2010 deaths of Sansere Warford and Charles Walker. Today, a judge sentenced Keene to 40 years in prison. He gets credit for time served and will be eligible for parole in about 20 years.
I want him to never see the light of day, like my daughter will never see the light of day. Her and Charles is gone. They'll never be here again. He will see his family again at some point in time. We never will see her.
Another man, Matthew Denholm, received 4 life terms after pleading guilty in the case. We'll have more from court on WKYT News coming up at 4:30. Rapper 50 Cent is caught in a new controversy, this time involving graphic language to describe a worker at a Kentucky airport.
Look at him. Look at it. What kind of you think he took before he got to work today? He hot as a right here in the airport.
The rapper posted that video on Twitter. What he didn't know is that Andrew Farrell, a worker at the Northern Kentucky airport, has dealt with social anxiety and mild autism all his life. His parents say the video is hard to watch.
You come up and you start talking to a kid that you have nothing about. That's not fair. I mean, that's a slap in the face.
Andrew's family says the outpouring of support has been overwhelming, and they're asking 50 Cent for an apology. Despite all the attention online, the rapper has not commented so far about the video. We'll have more on how businesses in the area are now boycotting the rapper ahead on WKYT News at 4:30. That's a look at some of the news in progress. Jennifer, back to you.
Thanks, Sam. Now to a story making headlines across the nation at 4. Johnson & Johnson is vowing to appeal a multi-million-dollar lawsuit verdict over its signature products. A jury awarded $55 million to an ovarian cancer survivor. She says decades of using talcum powder made her sick. Vanita Nair has more on the second talcum trial defeat this year for the company.
It is a huge public health concern.
Ted Meadows represents Gloria Ristison, who won the multi-million-dollar judgment Monday.
The $50 million award in punitives was intended to punish Johnson & Johnson for their conduct.
Ristison is 62 and says she used Johnson's baby powder for decades. She was diagnosed with ovarian cancer in 2011. Talc was found in her ovarian tissue after a hysterectomy. Her lawsuit claims the talcum powder in Johnson's baby powder and shower to shower is carcinogenic and that the company has known about it, quote, based upon scientific knowledge dating back to the 1960s.
What we're hoping is that Johnson & Johnson will finally do what they should have done decades ago and put a warning on the product.
But Johnson & Johnson said scientific and regulatory reviews have determined that talc is safe for use in cosmetic products, and the labeling on Johnson's baby powder is appropriate. In February, a $72 million judgment was awarded to the family of the late Jacqueline Fox, who was diagnosed with ovarian cancer in 2013 after using Johnson's talc products for decades. The company's chief medical officer denies any link.
We are confident in our position that there's no causal association between talc and ovarian cancer.
there have been about 20 epidemiologic studies suggesting an association.
Dr. Daniel Kramer of Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston was an expert for the plaintiff in both lawsuits.
My advice has always been not to use talc on a regular basis in the genital area. And I haven't changed that opinion for 30 years.
Vanita Nair, CBS News, New York.
Back in 1982, Dr. Kramer suggested the company needed a talc warning. Jim Beam has gone where no other bourbon company has gone before. Find out where in Money Watch next on WKYT News at 4.
Sneakers aren't just for sports. Some see them as an investment. I'm Jill Wagner in New York. All of that story coming up.
Gas prices are at their highest levels in more than 6 months. That tops today's WKYT Money Watch. AAA says the national average has remained above $2 a gallon for 40 consecutive days as the price of crude oil rebounds. It jumped 20% just last month. These days, sneakers are much more than just athletic wear. As Jill Wagner explains, the shoes can be fashionable and sell for top dollar.
For 25-year-old Sam Sheffer, footwear is part fashion, part financial investment.
These I don't think I'll ever wear. This is more of an investment.
In the past decade, he's spent thousands of dollars on his sneaker collection. He says it's a safer bet than the stock market.
There's not one pair of sneakers that I bought that has gone down in value.
The sneaker market is surging. Just last year, the U.S. sneaker industry grew 8% to $17 billion. And the resale market is estimated at over $1 billion a year.
The craze is so big, there are even specialty stores like this one here in New York City where they sell limited and hard-to-find sneakers.
The Nike Prestos have been on fire.
Sue Boyle owns the store Rhyme. She says the sneaker culture started in the 80s when Nike teamed up with Michael Jordan on the Air Jordan line. Now sneakers are high fashion.
You're seeing women starting to wear it.
Like the Fenty shoe, a collaboration between Puma and singer Rihanna. Boyle says they sold out in just 3 hours.
But that's part of the hype, that's part of the excitement.
It's also part of having that exclusivity, that you're one of the girls that got them.
Apps like Kickster let users know when the hottest sneakers are coming out. Sneakmart lets users buy, sell, and trade shoes on the secondary market.
There are some shoes that I have that I spent $200 for that I can get $600 or $800 for.
And that's why Sheffer is putting his money where his feet are. Jill Wagner, CBS News, New York.
Here's a reason to raise your glass. An iconic brand of Kentucky bourbon has reached a milestone. Jim Beam filled its 14 millionth barrel of bourbon since the repeal of Prohibition in 1933. The barrel was signed by Master Distiller Fred Noe and Governor Matt Bevin at the Jim Beam Distillery in Bullitt County. Jim Beam says it's the first bourbon company to reach the 14 million barrel milestone.
They're the official crafters of the Garland of Roses for the Kentucky Derby. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about at Kroger today.
Kind of an ugly day out there across central and eastern Kentucky. The chill is still on the way, and I've got more showers and thunderstorms. Oh, yeah, that little thing called the Kentucky Derby. Forecast for that is up next as well. Stay with us.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Hey everybody, hope you're having a great afternoon. It's kind of on the ugly side out there with a lot of low clouds, a little shower here or there, but most areas dry, but the chilly temperatures taking center stage. Look at our live sky cams from across the entire area. Frankfort, Louisville, Louisville taking center stage this week. E-Town with a lot of clouds, and we've got the clouds from Lexington to Corbin, Florence into eastern Kentucky. Every location that we look at dealing with a similar sky, and some of us getting in under a gusty shower from time to time. That's the view over top of Hamburg Pavilion as of now. Lexington, hey, we're barely to 60 degrees. We are right at 60 even with a southwesterly wind that is beginning to crank up ahead of another cold front that is on the move, and that will arrive into the day tomorrow. Look at the numbers out there. Kind of has a March look and feel to it, doesn't it? Upper 50s to low 60s. A couple of widely scattered showers across northern parts of the area, but we're focusing on this cold front that is on the move. It's going to drop in from northwest to southeast. That will arrive as we go into the day tomorrow, so it's a little more important brand of some chill. I could see a thunderstorm going up into the afternoon tomorrow, even with temperatures that may be into the 50s. A little small, soft hail is a possibility in this type of an environment. Hour by hour forecast. Let's walk you through the next few days and let's get you closer to the all-important Kentucky Derby weekend forecast. 11 o'clock this evening, readings into the low 50s, upper 40s to low 50s tonight into tomorrow morning. Tomorrow is going to be one of those days to where Mother Nature is going to throw you a little head fake. Middle of the morning into the early afternoon, you're going to see some sun. You may spike towards 60, 65 degrees. Then all of a sudden, winds are going to crank up, clouds are going to increase. As soon as the clouds increase, some showers and thunderstorms will blow through here, and those temperatures will drop from there. 11 o'clock tomorrow evening, upper 40s around. 7 o'clock Thursday morning. If skies clear, it's upper 30s. If we stay with some clouds and showers, it's low 40s. Yeah, pick your poison on that one. Upper 50s to around 60 into Thursday afternoon. That'll set the stage for another chilly start to our Friday, but it is Oaks Day. How about upper 60s to around 70 with some clouds lingering across parts of eastern Kentucky during that time. Then we go toward your Derby weekend. Right now, into Friday afternoon, Oaks Day, we look okay. My cause for concern this weekend is with a cold front that is going to drop in Saturday night, and by Saturday evening it is just close enough to give us a threat for a scattered shower or thunderstorm. Timing on that is going to be oh so crucial, and something we'll keep you updated on over the next few days. But look at the temperatures. We're slowly coming out of this as we go toward Friday with upper 60s to around 70, and by the time we hit the weekend, we've got those readings that will be generally running mid to upper 70s. Watch out for some late day storms Saturday and into Sunday. Let's check in now with Officer Don to see how traffic is.
Overall traffic view this afternoon, we're slower than expected to be. Outbound Richmond Road coming up in the circle in that right turn lane, and then of course Nicholasville Road too, Southland Drive, the corridor from there to Wilson Downing in front of the mall. But no surprises for us, in a lot better shape than we were this time yesterday afternoon. To Nicholasville, normal drive times right now averaging 12 to 14 minutes. Same to Richmond across the Clays Ferry Bridge and I-75, and 64 looks good toward Mount Sterling. Now back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Officer Don. Kroger has crafted the garlands for the Run for the Roses for years, and it's working on this year's Kentucky Derby.
Deanne Stevens out and about with one of the garland rose pickers at the Kroger on Chenaway. Hi, Deanne.
Good afternoon, guys. We are here at Kroger, where they are working with nothing but lilies and roses this week, because we're talking Kentucky Derby, and we are so honored to have Kim Lockman with us. She is like floral designer of the year, works on the Derby garland, the lily garland. This is a very busy week for you. You don't even have time. You got to keep moving, don't you?
That's right. I'm sorry.
No, keep on, girl. Tell us about Derby Week for Kroger and Kim Lockman. What does that mean?
Derby Week for Kroger is a whole week worth of activities, and we are very fortunate to be able to work on the Derby blanket. We were commissioned by Churchill Downs in 1987 to design a Derby blanket for Churchill Downs, and that's pretty much been in effect for, this is our 29th year of doing the garland of roses for the Derby.
Well, you were telling me what all goes into the garland, and there's like certain roses. These are not them, as beautiful as these are.
Right.
Tell us about the roses and how you grade those.
Right. There's around 8,000 roses that we grade for Derby, not just for the blanket, but also for the jockey's bouquet. There's 7 winner circle arrangements. So 8,000 roses gets graded into win, place, and show, of course. So after whatever's left in the winner's buckets, that's what goes on the blanket.
And you're one of 8 people who helps do that, right?
Right. There's actually about 80 hours of preparation that goes into the blanket, and about 12 hours of work on the blanket on Derby Eve, when we make the blanket at one of the Kroger stores in Louisville, so everybody can come by and see, take a look.
Yeah, tell folks about that, because you said thousands of people come through there.
Right. You can view the blanket. This year it'll be on Friday. I believe that's May the 6th. We start working on the blanket around 10 a.m. The best viewing time for the public really is somewhere late afternoon, early evening when we get more roses put on it.
And which Kroger is that?
It's the Shelbyville Road Kroger, the Middletown Kroger in Louisville.
How cool would that be to see the official folks who are putting together the lily and the rose garland? Now, coming up here at 4:50, we're talking roses in your own home. You too can put together, maybe not quite as beautifully as Kim does, a beautiful arrangement, floral arrangement. If you're planning a derby party for yourself, we're going to throw one together for you coming up here at 4:50. More with Kim, the floral design team here at Kroger when we return. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Deanne. The benefits to cutting calories, even if you're not trying to lose weight. That's next in WKYT Better Living. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $128 million, and Wednesday night's Powerball jackpot is $348 million. It's time for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. Doctors say sleep medications may not be the best solution for people who suffer from chronic insomnia. The American College of Physicians advises adults with chronic insomnia to try out cognitive behavioral therapy first. A new study finds cutting calories may help more than just overweight people. Doctors found when adults of normal weight restricted calories by 25% over 2 years, it improved their quality of life. The people in the study also had improved sleep and less stress. Pizza lovers in Lexington will soon have a new place to grab a slice. Goodfellas is opening a third location in the historic Pepper Distillery campus on Manchester Street. The New York-style restaurant will overlook Town Branch. The owners told the Herald Leader they will continue to sell pizza by the slice or by the 22-inch pie. Construction is expected to start in the next month, and Goodfellas hopes to open by August. Now let's head over to Chris, and we could see some rain tonight, but we're in for a big chill, too.
Yeah, it's kind of chilly out there now, and any rain we get this evening, not like what we had last night, just going to be scattered in nature, but overall the temperatures taking center stage, upper 50s, low 60s, depending on where you are. 60 Lexington, overcast skies. Hey, a little peek of sun, Jackson. 62 into London and Frankfurt as well. But as we look at your Defender radar network, you see some of those light showers dropping in across northern Kentucky, and one or two of those will try to settle in to the rest of the region as we go through the evening. Tomorrow, though, is a day to find the umbrella yet again. I think we get it on a soaker into the afternoon and evening.
Then you may need your winter coat.
Yeah, at least for another day or two. That's right.
Well, the news is just getting started on WKYT. Here are Sam, Dick, and Amber Philpott with what's ahead at 4:30.